What would drive a reigning monarch to risk everything? Tradition, family loyalty, even the wrath of the entire British establishment, just to make a stand. Did King Charles really dare to sell the priceless crown jewels? And if so, why? It began quietly in the spring of Buckingham Palace had recently undergone another round of renovations. The king, now in the third year of his reign, had taken a noticeable step back from public life. Queen Camilla had grown more involved in charitable activities, while Prince William was increasingly seen as the face of the monarchy. But behind the grand gates of the palace, tensions were rising. A series of secret meetings had been taking place at Balmoral, Sandringham, even within the hush of Windsor Castle's stone corridors. The monarchy, though outwardly stable, was facing something unprecedented. Not scandal, not abdication, but a choice, one that threatened to change royal history forever. The Royal Collection Trust had begun quietly reviewing the insurance policies and valuations of the crown jewels. Items that had not changed hands in centuries. The imperial state crown, the sovereign's orb, the scepter with the cross, priceless, irreplaceable symbols of monarchy, of empire, of legacy. So why was King Charles asking what they were worth? Then it happened. On a damp Monday morning in March, a document leaked to the press. A signed directive, initialed C, for Charles Rex stated the king's formal intention to explore the repatriation, resale or donation of select artifacts currently held in the royal collection, including, where applicable, pieces historically acquired through colonial extraction. The press exploded. Headlines screamed, "King Charles to sell crown jewels. The end of the monarchy as we know it." Palace in turmoil over radical royal move. But it wasn't just the press, it was the family. Queen Camilla was reportedly furious. Prince William, caught off guard and blindsided, allegedly confronted his father in a private tense meeting. According to insiders, William begged his father to reconsider. The jewels weren't just metal and stones, they were history, identity. But King Charles, according to sources close to the matter, replied with one calm line. "What good is a crown if it has blood on it?" This was more than a sale. This was atonement. The most controversial item at the center, the Koh-i-Noor diamond, embedded in the Queen Mother's crown, long claimed by India, and a global symbol of colonial legacy. Charles, influenced by years of discussions with historians and human rights advocates, had finally decided it was time to return it. But that wasn't all. A list circulated confidentially revealing intentions to return looted artifacts to Nigeria, South Africa, Egypt, and Ghana. Items never meant to be held forever in a foreign palace. Items, Charles believed, that should go home. The backlash was immediate. The government issued a formal statement expressing grave concern. Parliament debated royal overreach. Protests formed, some in support, many in outrage. Privately, the Queen was said to have been in tears. Staff described frosty silence between her and Charles for days. And in the heart of Windsor, a family dinner turned icy when Prince Edward and Princess Anne reportedly told the king he was ripping apart their inheritance. But Charles didn't flinch. "I wore that crown," he told one royal aide, "and I felt its weight, not just of power, but of guilt." He refused to allow future generations, George, Charlotte, Louis, to inherit that burden. His aides were torn. Was this bravery or betrayal? The world weighed in. Indian Prime Minister praised the move. South African leaders called it an act of long overdue justice. Social media, a firestorm. But for Charles, the storm didn't matter. He'd made peace with it. The crown jewels would not be sold in the traditional sense, not auctioned off to billionaires or locked in vaults. They would be returned or donated to museums in their countries of origin. Some would be symbolically transferred, others retained in Britain, but co-owned through international agreements. A radical diplomatic reshaping of heritage. One former royal advisor described it best. "He's not selling them, he's setting them free." For King Charles, it was never about wealth. It was about healing. He had grown up under the shadow of empire, educated in palaces built on centuries of expansion, conquest, and silence. But unlike his predecessors, Charles had listened to the voices from former colonies, to indigenous leaders, to modern historians. This was not the act of a rebellious prince, it was the decision of a monarch who understood that the greatest legacy is not possession, but redemption. He knew it would cost him, maybe even the crown itself, but he had lived long enough to know that symbols only matter when they are backed by conscience. Was he destroying tradition or creating a new one? That question still lingered, but in one quiet act, document signed, plan enacted, Charles became something no British monarch had ever been before. A king who gave back. In a world increasingly reckoning with the past, statues torn down, reparations debated, stolen art returned, Charles's decision is not alone. Institutions around the globe are confronting uncomfortable histories. Museums in Europe are facing lawsuits. Universities are renaming buildings. Even the Vatican has begun opening conversations about returning artifacts. What Charles did may seem extreme, but maybe it's simply the future. A future where leadership is not defined by what you keep, but what you're willing to let go of, for justice. What do you think? Was King Charles right to return the crown jewels, or has he betrayed a 1,000-year-old legacy? Tell us in the comments below. Don't hold back. And if you love bold stories that shake the royal world to its core, subscribe to Heartfelt Stories and hit that bell icon, because sometimes the most powerful crowns are the ones willingly laid down.